Univibe is proof that maybe we shouldn't take our effect categories too seriously. Today, I've got a Voodoo Lab Microvibe and a Strat. The first Univibe was designed way back in 1968, and the goal was to sound like a rotating speaker. And that might have you thinking, all right, so it's a rotary. Or maybe you looked at the pedal and noticed that it has a switch that goes between chorus and vibrato. And now you're thinking, all right, well, it's got to be one of those then. But trust your ears. Univibe actually has more in common with a phaser than anything else, since it has 4 all-pass filters like a Phase 90. But unlike a Phase 90, the Univibe's filters are not all set exactly the same, so the effect already has a little spin on it. Another important hallmark of the Univibe is that the oscillation doesn't follow a standard sine or triangle waveform. It kind of meanders, and that's because ideally the filters are swept by an oscillator by way of a lamp and photocells. And we can actually see this right here. It's an actual physical lamp surrounded by photoresistors. These guys influence the frequencies of those all-pass filters. And if we adjust the speed, we can see that speed reflected in the lamp. Same thing when we adjust the intensity. That determines how bright and dark it gets. And it's got some built-in lag because it takes that bulb a split second to actually physically light up that filament and then for it to completely go dark afterwards. So our actual phase orbit becomes a function of how that lamp behaves as it's cycled on and off. I just think that's pretty amazing that we're using these knobs to control this light, and that little light blinking determines whether we've got something that sounds like this, or something that sounds like this. What's also kind of neat is because it's a real filament bulb in there, it can't go full bright and completely dark in an instant. So if we crank the rate once it catches up, because this pedal's rate even has a built-in lag function, that's kind of neat. But once it goes full tilt, the bulb doesn't have time to go full on and completely off. So it kind of pulses somewhere in the middle there. And as a result, we lose some of that depth until we ease it back. And it's actually easier if we just look at it. Check this out. This little light of mine. So, Univibe. When would you want a Univibe instead of a chorus, or a phaser, or a tremolo, or whatever else you're thinking about right now? Well, this is just me, but for years, my ride or die modulation effect was this EVH phaser made by MXR, and somehow Univibe just never really made it onto my radar. Lately, though, whenever I'm putting together a practically sized board for gigging or practices, my go-to modulation effect has been a Univibe of some sort. I've just found that it does a great job of giving me a little bit of everything, even if it means bending over to adjust the knobs every once in a while. Now, I'm not going to get into some sort of this Univibe versus some other Univibe argument, or whether it sounds more like a chorus or a tremolo or a vibrato. take it for what it is. It's just another option for us. And I think it's great that we're into something with so many unique and diverse options to choose from. And I know, too much talking, not enough playing. So, how about something fun to wrap things up? We got the band back together, and I brought in another Voodoo Lab pedal, the Sparkle Drive, to liven things up a bit. I got an idea. Let's make 2022 the year of the Univibe. We've certainly got a number to choose from, and I think this Voodoo Lab Microvibe is an excellent place to start, or maybe even finish your quest for the ideal Univibe effect. Hey, I had a lot of fun doing this. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, follow me on the Instagram, stay safe, and I'll catch you on the next one.